Welcome, everyone. We have our grand finale interviewees for Women in Construction Month. We have two special guests, Adison, Addie, Stifter, and we also have Justice Reardon. So they are assistant project managers. Addie is also a co-op student, and then Justice is also a project engineer. So we are super excited to have them on the podcast today. Ladies, tell us about your positions in the construction trades and how you got to where you are now.
First of all, thank you guys so much for having us. We're super excited about this. So me personally, I actually am a product of Wentworth's co-op program as well. So I started there and I did 2 co-ops with my current company, WT Rich. And then I was lucky enough to land a full-time position with them. And so I am currently working full-time, recent graduate of Wentworth. So just finished up last year, actually.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been great so far. I love working full-time. I love being in the field. So that's where I got my start.
For sure.
And I started in a technical school in high school. I did my full-time high school. I got my diploma and everything, but I did part-time at a technical school for building construction sciences. So I kind of fell in love with that part of the construction industry, but I also love the management organization part of it, which is sort of where the project management part comes in. So I definitely have an appreciation for both sides of it and really love the industry as a whole. So that's sort of how I got into the project management part of construction. But I really do love being out in the field, the project engineer, just like we work in the trailer on site. So we're always right around the construction happening while we also have our desks to sit at. So it's a really great company here and also opportunity, the positions we're in right now.
Absolutely. And that's something I forgot to mention is that you two both work for WT Rich. Shout out to them. They're ABC member companies. And I know that they were excited to have you guys on. So this leads me to my next question. So my husband actually was able to connect with Addie in order to connect her with me and the Coffee Break podcast. And he would just tell me that, there's these 2 female project managers just walking around and they're just, checking everything out, scoping it out, making sure everyone's, safe. And so that kind of led me to just ask, what does your day-to-day look like, right? As a project manager / project engineer or working towards that role, what does your day-to-day look like?
I'll let Justice start because she does the job full time. So she has more of like robust understanding of the day-to-day, but
So kind of like I alluded to in my title is currently I'm an assistant project manager, but for this particular job that we're on in Gloucester, I've had the opportunity to take on the project engineer role, which is more of like a field-based kind of quality control role. But you do have the same sort of responsibilities as a project manager, but your primary focus is quality control. So that's what your husband was probably witnessing us doing all the time is, we're out there, we're looking at the installations, we're making sure details are met. Coordination is happening. We have like a quality control program that we do all of our inspections through Procore. So we're doing a lot of those, as well as initiating the punch list. So we actually do like a work to be completed list as well as a punch list. So that's what Addie and I's main focus is when we're out there, is just ensuring quality on all levels. So that's what we like to do the most. And like she said, the organization aspect really comes into play with all that too, because you have to know what you've looked at, what's coming up to be reviewed. So that definitely plays a big role in doing QC very well also.
Absolutely. And Addie, just, give us a rundown of kind of the student side of that role.
Right. So it's very similar. Like I shadow Justice in the field a lot. As I've gotten more comfortable, because I started in January and it's March now. So I've been here as like a student co-op for a few months. So I do tasks in the field by myself, like inspections of different materials. We do like almost like a Google Maps 360 walk through the building at least twice a week. So I wear a little camera on a hard hat and walk around. So that's, I mean, it's pretty
Very
comical
cool.
to look at, but it's really, really cool. And it's very useful for everybody in the project. So that makes me feel really like needed. You know, obviously anybody can walk with the camera on their head, but I'm the one that did it. So
Absolutely.
it's the highest honor on the field to walk with the camera.
it's nice. Like I step in every single room of the building, so I get to see the progress almost more than anybody else, because not everybody's stepping in every single room of the building every single week. But usually they came up with a list of tasks, if you will, of things that they needed to complete the project, like the closeout log for the project, where they get all the owners' manuals and maintenance and stuff like that for the products that are in the building. That all needs to get put into a log and collected. So they sort of give the co-op more I guess, mundane tasks, but for a student reading through contracts and learning that language and understanding that this happens in every single job is super important. So it was really it has been an awesome learning experience, even though it's sort of, you know, sit at the desk.
Absolutely. To learn all of that verbiage is so important, especially when you get into your full-time role, right?
Exactly.
Remind me not to take the Google camera if I ever visit WT Rich or one of your job sites.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
No, that's for Addie, you know, that's her role.
Yeah.
All right. So as a female in the trades, what are some of the challenges that you may notice, if any at all? Because of course, everyone knows that women are bomb.com. No shade to the men out there. We love everybody. But yeah, any challenges that you may notice?
So definitely the industry has come a long way. I'd say, I mean, I can't speak to 10 years ago, but I can't imagine 10 years ago it being the sort of industry that it is now. But there's still the prejudice of when you see a woman walk on site, I think the men sort of are like, what is she doing here? Sort of have a little bit of, you know, less respect or won't take us as seriously. But I think that pretty quickly they understand, like, they switch pretty quick and they understand that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's sort of hard to get through to them in that way, where they have that wall of prejudice up immediately before we even start talking. And then you sort of have to break that wall down to earn their respect. But I will say that once you earn their respect, it's usually sort of a nice relationship that you have with them. Like, I wouldn't say it's anything more than just you have to break down the prejudice that they already have sort of within their mind.
Absolutely.
And to add on to that, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just to add on to that, like, I agree with Addie that I think the construction community and the males as well, like, are more open to women in the field these days. Like, you know, like she said, we weren't around, you know, when women first started getting into the trades, but nowadays I feel like people have become more accepting, because personally I was pretty apprehensive, you know, like especially going on site every day. You know, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to face like all these challenges and no one's going to talk to me and everything. But I was pretty much surprised with how open people were. And at my job in particular, like, I was never told that I couldn't do something or given less opportunities, which is something I truly appreciate. You know, because I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure how it would be and if I would be treated a different way. So I've been pleasantly surprised the whole time to kind of have that respect nowadays. But yeah, of course, there's one-off situations here and there, but it's nothing that we can't handle. So,
and that prejudice comes a lot from like the site side of work. I think the WT Rich as a company obviously is progressive enough, and they just understand that women are no less than men, obviously. So the company side of it is, you know, completely, I would say, no issues at all. But, you know, then you walk on site and you're sort of walking into different generations of construction, and that changes the perception. So even within the same company of trade on site, you'll have one of the guys who sort of definitely respects you and listen to everything you say, and another one that's sort of a little bit apprehensive about listening to you. So